Welcome, one and all. We invite you to another exciting edition of
Midwest Reviews.
We walk alone.
Hello, and welcome to another exciting edition of Midwest Reviews. The following review you're about to see has been modified from its original version. It has taken out the unnecessary side story of the masked man.
So, without further ado, here's the Midwest Reviews Recut episode on Disney World in 12 minutes or less. We're going to break it down with the 4 parks and the order that they opened. Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Disney Studios, and then Animal Kingdom. Magic Kingdom, top 3 rides you have that are favorites there.
Splash Mountain, Big Thunder Railroad, Space Mountain.
I agree with Cameron. Space Mountain I like. Thunder Railroad and Splash Mountain Falls. They get you pumped a little bit. Those rides are 3 must hits. Ones that I would suggest is Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. You will find everybody of every age range on that ride because you're in a cart on this track. Well, the cart can spin and there's 2 people to a cart. And you're trying to hit all these laser targets to get the higher score. Pirates of the Caribbean, another good ride.
Yes, another good ride.
So, anyway, but you know what?
It was a good ride.
It's a good classic ride.
Epcot Center was one of my favorite parks too.
It's Future World.
Future World, yes.
Is the front part of Epcot where they have all the rides and everything. And then the back part is called World Showcase,
okay,
where it has different pavilions from different countries around the world: Rome, Mexico,
Germany,
Norway,
yeah,
Japan, China. But and the people in each one of the pavilions are actually from those countries. Mission Space, if you are a thrill, adrenaline-seeking junkie, this is your type of stuff right here. Or they have 2 versions. They have a mild and intense version. And let me explain to you what this ride is, because it's basically simulates the G-forces on your body and simulates you flying off from Earth's surface to the surface of Mars. But disclaimer, people have died on this ride, so if you don't think you are physically capable of doing it, I would suggest not doing it.
Soarin' is a cool ride though, because what it is you're sitting in these rows of seats and
You're on a bench basically that it hoists you up in front of a giant screen.
So you're off this giant. You're looking at the screen. Well, it's projecting sceneries from California, flying over California like you would in a hang glider. So. And it's cool because they really play with your senses. What they do is they pass over an orange grove and they throw out the scent of real oranges. So you smell smell like the oranges, and then you go past the ocean and you get the smell and the breeze of the ocean and the mist on your face. And so then they top it off by going.
In Magic Kingdom, you have the Main Street USA, and it flies down almost to the. And then it pulls back up right in front of the Magic Kingdom as the fireworks are going off.
Yeah.
And the one thing that they do is if the camera pans or tilts one direction,
yeah,
the seats follow it.
That's right.
There's one point where you're flying over a river where people are kayaking, and it plays with your senses so much you lift your feet up
thinking you're gonna hit the
kayakers. You think you're gonna kick them in the head. It messes with you that much.
That's one that you can ride that's very relaxing. It's very soothing when you ride it. You feel it's nothing that's too intense. You're not scared out of your mind going, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die type of thing. You feel good after riding it. So I would recommend that one to anybody who wanted to just enjoy Disney World's one of Disney World's best rides.
Spaceship Earth. The big orb inside that is the main iconography of Epcot. It brings you it talks about the history of communication that has developed over the history of mankind. And one of the earliest parts of the ride is ancient Egypt with papyrus. Judi Dench has now replaced Jeremy Irons as the narrator. And they had to replace Jeremy Irons' original track. But in the original track, he said, as we leave the 20th century and greet the oncoming 21st, or something like that. So you could tell it was dated. World Showcase. Number 1, Mexico. So anyway, you walk into this building, and it looks like a Mexican town, a street market at night. And at the very back of near the very back, they have a restaurant, authentic Mexican food. A little bit of Tex-Mex. Well, what happens is they also have a ride in this building. It used to be called the River of Time, and you would get on this little boat, and it would take you through the deal of what gave you the history of Mexico and all that stuff. Norway, they have the Viking ships, and you get on this boat, and whatever you want to call it, wooden thing that goes in the water. Anyway, and it takes you through the history of Norway. I think it may be Japan. If you look on my channel, and there's one girl on one drum, and then there's 2 girls on the side of this big drum. They're and it's pretty cool.
I think it looks like authentic Japan, doesn't it?
Well, Disney spares no expense.
Disney Studios, my favorite ride is the Hollywood Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. I don't know what it is about that ride, but it just has all the ambience of a cool ride. And that definitely is in my top 5 list of rides.
Which is the Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith ride. This is the fun part. When the ride begins, you feel the car slide back. It's on a slingshot system. You go 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. Basically.
And what song are they playing whenever they launch
Everything
out?
Aerosmith.
Yeah.
You're sitting there, and it's a roller coaster. It goes inverted twice. Well, you're sitting there in the seats, and they've got the speakers there, so you're having Aerosmith pounding into your melon the whole time, and it's like you're going on a crazy LA freeway.
That's awesome.
Only complaint, it's too short of a ride.
What we're going to talk about is the Animal Kingdom.
About one of the premier attractions of Disney World, which is the safari. And the animals are in free roam.
It looks like, really, you're in Africa. I mean, you're surrounded by, looks like the African desert, and all these animals look like they're roaming free.
If it's your first time, ride it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you go to the Asia part of the park, it's like a Tibetan village. I want to mention this, there's a restaurant called Yak and Yeti. And
it just sounds funny when you say that.
It's like a
Yeti.
Basically it's a Mongolian barbecue, and it's a 2-story restaurant. And I mean, it's just cool inside. We got to eat on the 2nd floor, and they said, okay, are you guys riding a ride, or do you have are you just free time? And so we told them, well, in about an hour we're supposed to be on the Mount Everest ride. And they're like, all right, well, we'll have you in and out of here in less time than that. About 30 minutes later, we were done. We didn't feel rushed.
Or expedition.
That's what it is. Well, once you get on the ride, it's kind of short, and the ride moves pretty fast. And I don't want to give away too many of the details, but you encounter the Yeti twice on the ride. In Dinoland is the ride Dinosaur, which is Disney's answer to Universal's
Jurassic Park adventure. It's like taking a trip back in time, right?
Yeah, so it's enclosed in the building, and you're on a buggy. And so they say, and they tie in the characters of the movie Dinosaur from the 90s. And basically what you're doing is you're going to go hunt Aladar, and bring him back to the present out of the dinosaur times. So he sends you back right before the meteor hits. And so all the dinosaurs are going crazy, and I mean, they're full scale, and you run into the Carnotaurus, which is like the horned T-Rex, basically. And you know what? It's a decent ride. The Tree of Life. Well, the Tree of Life, as you know, is the big centerpiece of the Animal Kingdom. And I forget I know it has a couple hundred animals carved on it, but if I remember right, it may have 1,000 or so. Mm-hmm. But I can't remember. Anyway, so there's a line that lets you go into the Tree of Life, and there's actually a movie theater in the bottom of this tree. And so anyway, in the bottom of it is a theater, and in the theater you put on these 3D glasses, and it's basically an extension of the story of a bug's life. And anyway, they have an acid bug that when he sneezes, you feel water, or acid hit your face. And then they have a tarantula, but anyway, and they have this tarantula that, and also at one point the grasshoppers attack, and so you're feeling like these things shoot past you, and weird. It's just it's really kind of, they play off your senses a lot like Soarin', but to more of a bigger degree. And anyway, it's like it's a good just thing to catch your breath. If it's really hot outside or whatever. Personally, I don't care for it. It's geared more towards the family and the kid type areas. So,
and what is it like at the very end when they tell you at the end?
They say, "Ladies and gentlemen, please stay seated while all insects exit the auditorium." And so what they have is in the seats, they have these little knob things that move in the back of the seats, and the knob and so it feels like insects are crawling, between you and the seat. I think that pretty much does it for Animal Kingdom. You know what? We actually forgot about one. In Epcot, Test Track. It's like you go into the world of Tron, and you're in this car, and it handles different challenges. So, this has been our review of Disney World. We hope you guys enjoyed this Recut episode for Disney World. More Recuts are to come, so stay tuned for Recut episodes of Season 1.